I want to start doing movie reviews and psychoanalyze a movie and then talk about what it is that we can learn from this movie. Okay? Because think about it, like movies is art. It's just and art is an imitation of life, and movies and acting is just exaggerated reality. So let's go ahead and just talk about this. So first movie that I want to do this series on is called Knock at the Cabin. Okay, and it's a movie by M. Night Shyamalan. Okay. A disclaimer, I probably will reveal some spoilers in this series, okay? Because in order for me to go ahead and talk about it, I have to analyze the entire movie as if you've already seen it. So if you have not seen it and you watch this, I'm kind of telling you what's going to happen. If you don't want to have the movie spoiled for you, then watch this video after you watch the movie, okay? Now, to all of you that are still here because you have seen the movie Knock at the Cabin by M. Night Shyamalan, let's go ahead and psychoanalyze the movie to see if you've gained the same inference that I have. So we have a movie, Knock at the Cabin, where it's about a family of three where they are vacating at a cabin in the middle of the woods in Pennsylvania, United States. So the families consist of two men that are a married couple, and they have a daughter, an adopted daughter who is Asian. Okay. And the two men are Caucasian. So you have a gay male couple that are married and they have an adopted daughter who is Asian. So they are here at this cabin, and all of a sudden they have four people that break into the cabin and tell them that, hey, we are four people from just random parts of the world, random parts of the country, and we are here today to talk to you about what's going to happen because every single last one of us in this cabin right now can prevent the apocalypse from happening upon the earth. And we, as a people, in this cabin, we can save humanity. But the only way that we are able to save humanity is that the family that is in there, that family of three, one of them has to be sacrificed. One of those family members has to die. One of them has to be murdered. They have to be killed by one of the other family members there. Okay, it's not that the person that is sacrificed can off themselves. No, one person has to kill a family member in order to prevent the apocalypse from happening. So think of it this way. It's like one of your family members has to die so that the rest of the world can live. Okay, it's a very, very big sacrifice. But what we can learn from this movie is that we as a people have to be very in touch with our morale, our humanity, because if we are in selfish agenda and we are caring more about our personal selves and we don't care about the rest of humanity, it's like our selfishness could cause us to end humanity altogether, and humanity could cease to exist if people are still operating on selfish agenda. Okay, that's really what it is. And M. Night Shyamalan is having a powerful message because of the world, what's going on today, because a lot of people, people are very selfish. If it's not benefiting them or if it's not affecting them, then people just don't seem to care. People have lost their humanity. They have lost their empathy, their empathy for other people. And this is why a lot of people in this world are like this, right? And M. Night Shyamalan had to bring it to the surface to show us, like, imagine being in a hypothetical situation like that, and this all could happen. You got to wake up and realize that this world is not just about you. We were meant to be in this world with other people. If not, we would all personally be on our own individual planets just by ourselves, and it's just us and the creator. But we live in a world where there are people because we are meant to interact with people. We are meant to convene with people. The two commandments is to love God with your whole heart and soul, to love yourself, and to love your neighbor as yourself, to love your neighbor. We got to remember to love our neighbor. And that's what he was getting at. Love your neighbor as yourself. Now think about it. When you have two gay males and an Asian daughter, there's no way that they can repopulate the earth. Okay. Because those two males are not going to be able to procreate, and they're not going to do any type of incest with their daughter and start, repopulating the earth with her. So clearly this was a very, very specific detail. He chose this for a reason. He chose it to be two males and an Asian daughter because, she's not like she's a black woman where she has all of the genes within herself. So it's like, you clearly see it that they have to sacrifice somebody because there is no way that they can start repopulating the earth. And then you have the four people that represent the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So you have the guy, the first one of them represented like the war, the wrath, the rage, the anger that a lot of us have, because he was the one that was very, very aggressive, very just intense with everything like that. And yeah, he was the first one to go. So when you have those four people that represent the four horsemen of the apocalypse, you have two males and two females. You had two that were Caucasian, and then you have two people of color. Okay, it was wonderful how they did that. And also you have three that were neurotypical allistics and one that was autistic neurodivergent. So maybe they're trying to say that one in every four people is autistic, and maybe that's how big the percentage is of autistic people on this earth. And it's showing how each piece of humanity is very, very important on what they do and how they help other people. Like they weren't just regular, they were just regular people that came over here to this cabin to try and basically, get this family to fulfill their mission so that they can prevent the apocalypse from starting. But all of them back at home that had their own lives. You had the Black woman that was the nurse. She works in healthcare. We need nurses. We need people like that helps to, help us go back to health. You had the other woman, Adrian. She was autistic. She represents very loving, very nurturing, just having such a great big heart, very kind, very giving, very understanding. And although she may, have that social awkwardness, it doesn't matter because she has such a big heart that you can just, not really gloss over it, not really pay too much attention to it, not really care so much about it because she has such a big heart. And autistic people can be parents because Adrian was a mother. She had a son. Then you had Leonard, you had the guy who was the big tough guy. And he was a coach of coach for a children's sports team. He was the coach, and with that, he is a mentor, he is a teacher, he is a guider, he gives wisdom. We need people like that are helping the newer generations. And then you had the last one, you had the guy who represented war and just anger, and he represents the humanity of how angry we are and the righteous anger, because him in the movie, he was the guy that represented war was actually Ron from Harry Potter. Fun fact. But he basically represents righteous anger that we all as humans have. And righteous anger is necessary because when you deal with righteous anger or sacred rage, it's like because of the injustice, because of the pain, because of all of the agony, there is a reason for us to express that anger, and we cannot run from the anger. We cannot hide from the anger. The anger needs to be presented because the anger is the driving force to get people to do what they need to do. You needed to have him because a lot of us in this world were very angry, and a lot of people are afraid of their anger, but it shows do not be afraid of your anger. You can't be afraid of your anger because you need that anger as a driving force to get yourself into a better position to do what needs to be done, to do the right thing. Be righteous anger. And also what we can see is that people within your family, not everybody has empathy. Not everybody has that good moral standard. Because when you see in the movie is that there were the two dads, right? One of the dad represented that nurturing, feminine, loving energy, represented the compassion, the empathy for humanity. The other one is the one that represented the apathy, the selfish interest, like the only focusing on themselves. And those are the types that speak the loudest, the ones that like to speak over everybody, the ones that like to be the voice for everyone else so that they can be in full control and have all of the power. The ones that, continue to try to deny what's right in front of their face because they're too egoic. They're too in their fucking ego. They're too wrapped up in their own lives that they cannot give a fuck about anybody else. And it shows that you can have a lot of selfish people like that in your family, and that this can happen. And that if you are dealing with people that are that selfish, those people would take care of themselves or put themselves first over humanity and over you. They could put themselves first. And he was doing that a lot in the movie. So also pay attention to watch who you marry, watch who you be in a relationship with, watch who watch your family around, because just because you yourself have good moral standards and good moral values doesn't mean that the people that you are with in a romantic partner or in your family has the same heart as you. And that if you have a pure heart, if you stand for something, if you stand for the good moral standard that you have, you are what we need in humanity. Don't allow these people that lack humanity to have control and power over you. Speak up. Speak.